Welcome to this presentation about contemporary issues in sustainability. Sustainability refers to the organization's achieving of its needs without depletion of resources for future use. In addition to natural resources, is social and economical resources. As John Eckington in Triple Bottom Line in 1997 elaborates on the three pillars of sustainability acting as the criteria of measuring success with a spectrum of values. These three pillars include social, which represents the people in the society who would be expecting free and fair trade, partnerships, and use of non governmental organizations. Environmental, which represents the planet, where the business has to ensure the cradle to cradle policy or make sure that its products do not harm the environment, its constituent. And the economic part of this could be seen as how the business is providing jobs for the people.
Barriers to sustainability. We have split the barriers into three groups: social, institutional, and financial. For social, we have lack of knowledge. People do not have a clear understanding on the severity of environmental issues, hence they do not feel the need to act. Different perception and views. Different perceptions on the state of the environment, global economy, and welfare of the people lead to different reactions, like should action be taken, what action should be taken, and which is the most effective way to deal with it. Verbal support versus willingness to take action. On the surface, anybody can say that they support or will work towards sustainability, but when it comes down to it, not everyone is willing to put in the time, money, and effort to change. For the institutional, leaders are hesitant to share power and take risks. The fear of passing power over to another group will halt efforts to work together in the interest of sustainability. And there is a lack of clear regulations and rules that encourage sustainability practices. Proper guidelines and standards regarding sustainability and subsidies that will help firms. Lastly, you have the financial. Prioritizing financing. The desire for financial gain can be a barrier to adopting practices that support sustainability. And marginal pricing and economic evaluation. The need to preserve money-generating activities outweighs the need to preserve life-sustaining networks. Investors want to see immediate results and favor the short-term economic interest over long-term sustainability.
So, overcoming barriers to sustainability. There are many ways in which to overcome these barriers to sustainability, two of which are government programs and social pressure. When referring to the sustainable development of organizations, Alexander said that in order for this to occur in practice, a change must be made relative to the laws, rules, and regulations that define and guide the market. To encourage organizations to overcome their barriers to acting more sustainably, governments employ a tax on the use of fossil fuels such as carbon, in addition to taxing other non-sustainable actions for businesses such as airlines. This, combined with incentivizing organizations with the promise of tax rebates or grants for acting in a more environmentally sustainable manner, aids in overcoming many of the financial barriers that exist for sustainable development. Social pressure can be used as a very effective tool to overcoming barriers to sustainability, such as environmental barriers or financial barriers. In the viewpoint of a large portion of our society, sustainability is an important factor in decision making, especially when a choice between two very similar products or services needs to be made. It is second only to cost, which is now a much less important factor due to the wide range of products and services available. This range of choice not only reduces the importance of product cost, but also encourages organizations to be more sustainable in order to gain an edge over their competition. The importance of sustainable development placed upon organizations by society is key, especially when an organization is found to be employing environmentally unsustainable means, as this often leads to public boycotts. It is this that makes the social pressure put on sustainability such an important factor, as businesses actively want to avoid this situation. Social pressure can often be an effective way to pressure companies into stopping putting money first and starting to put more resources into becoming a more sustainable organization.
How do advances in technology affect sustainability? Companies now are looking for new ways to innovate, and this includes technology advancement in order to be sustainable. As research by Nidomolu and others, it has been shown that becoming environment friendly helps lower costs as companies reduce the inputs they use. Furthermore, sustainability is a motherlode of organizational and technological innovations that yield returns. Therefore, companies now treat sustainability as innovation's new frontier. In addition, the quest for sustainability is already starting to transform the competitive landscape, which will force companies to change the way they think about products, technologies, processes, and business models. Hence, the key to progress when met with economic crisis is innovation. As a result, companies would have to start to think about capabilities and resources that can be used to address clean technology and eco-effectiveness. With these capabilities, such as technological innovations, companies would be able to achieve long-term sustainability. By treating sustainability as a goal today, early movers will develop competencies that rivals will be hard-pressed to match. The competitive advantage will stand them in good stead. For example, in the early 1990s, HP came to realize that the use of lead solders is toxic and the government would one day ban the use of lead solders. Over the decade, HP did experiments to come up with alternatives, and by 2006, they created alternative solders to tackle the problem. And thus, HP is able to comply with the EU directive on the use of hazardous materials such as lead, which took effect in 2006.
Personal experiences drive style higher. Lack of knowledge. DSH unwilling to change their business model to become sustainable, moving away from hires and leasing to offering subscriptions. No longer owning the vehicles, which creates a reduction in the value of business assets. The new model is sustainable as there are no vehicles to depreciate in value. The vehicles are changed for a newer model when the client demands. And when there is no use for the vehicles, Drive Style Hire is able to return these back to the main dealers and not worry about ongoing costs. The directors of Drive Style Hire, a hire company, lacked the knowledge with regards to sustainability. They couldn't understand how a subscription model, which is a form of sustainability by means of a cycle economy, would work for their organization, as they have in the past purchased vehicles which they give out on hire and then sell them once there is no need for these vehicles. With a subscription model, they are able to remain sustainable as they simply replace the cars with the vehicle dealers. Customers are also able to subscribe to vehicles. When there is no need for a vehicle, the customer returns the vehicle to Drive Style Hire, who can then return the vehicle back to the vehicle dealer. This allows for sustainability for both the end customer and Drive Style Hire as a company.
All in all, overcoming the barriers of sustainability reduces the risk of reputational damage in the society. As said in Arojo's article about what have markets ever done for the poor, he noted that there is much to be gained by opening up the debate on expanding markets and their consequences for elevating the poor to a broader range of views on what constitutes development and how it might be pursued. Therefore, sustainability is an important method to etiquette in an organization whereby overcoming its barriers benefit the three pillars, and with a touch of innovation and advanced technologies, it promotes development, which makes it a benevolent gesture.
Here are our references. We will now answer some questions. In your experience, how much knowledge about the sustainability of the production process does the customer have? How is this knowledge gained? In my experience, customers have minimum knowledge about the sustainability of the production process. Often, customers will want their goods and services to be offered in a sustainable way and manufactured using sustainable materials. It is, however, in my experience, up to the seller of these items to explain how a product or service is sustainable and help the customer to understand. Often, the customer will be unaware of whether or not a manufacturing process is sustainable. However, the seller can explain to the customer how and why this process is sustainable. Following this line of thought, it would seem that the knowledge is gained as a social concept, where one individual may pass on this knowledge to another. Equally, sustainability is now more visible in the general media and social media, thus creating more opportunity for customers to gain knowledge about sustainability and sustainable products and services.
To what extent can market forces or government incentives drive sustainability? Market forces and government incentives play a major role in driving organizations to becoming more sustainable due to their use of money, which is the primary focus of many organizations, as an encouragement to continually drive sustainability forwards. The extent to which this incentivizes organizations to pursue sustainability is, however, impacted by the potential cost of this development.
Companies need to identify their innovation fulcrum. Innovation fulcrum is the point at which the level of product innovation maximizes both revenues and profits. As a company increases the pace of innovation, its profitability often begins to become stagnant. In addition, for a sustainable development, there is a need to integrate environment and social needs in decision makings. Furthermore, there are business opportunities to be exploited by better integrating social challenges at the core of innovation initiatives. Social challenges have a strong mobilizing effect, which would allow the gathering of competences and resources. In regard to the environment needs, one of the major threats in achieving sustainability is the deteriorating environment. The world needs continuous and revolutionary innovations to clean up the already damaged environment and simultaneously take proactive measures to prevent further environmental disasters.